Alright, now let's see how this works. It's going to be my first time trying to raise like this with this setup, so it may work, it may not. What I'm going to try to do, just so that, because you won't be able to really see that well on the camera, is I'm going to try to put it so that the area that I'm going to hit is just off the edge of the stake. The area that I don't want to deform is completely supported by the stake, and I want to actually use the lines that I scribed as guidelines to make sure that I work smoothly in a circle. So let's see how this goes. And the first hits are absolutely the most critical because they set the tone for the whole rest of the piece. I don't want to hit too hard, but I definitely want to move some metal. And you see how I now have a little bit of a dome going on. And I maintain the flatness across the base here in the center. What I want to do now is I want to use this to guide me as I stretch the metal here, which will help to draw this up into a cone. So now that I have that initial area raised, pretty much the rest of the piece is taking and trying to get the metal to deform by stretching. Once I actually have a little bit of traction, I'm going to be actually pinching the metal between my anvil and the hammer, just like stretching bread dough or cookie dough. I'm going to be basically rolling it out using the hammer as a roller to make it thinner and longer, and I'm using the straight hammer to deform it only in one direction. The round of the anvil is going to deform it just a little bit in the other direction, but I'm going to try to minimize that as much as possible. And you see how fast this is moving already. When I get to the point where I'm actually using a raising stake, once I actually have a little bit of depth going, then I'll really be able to make this thing move out quickly. Granted, it's been a long time since I've done this, but this should at least give you some ideas for how to get started. And once you get started, you really want to make sure that the metal does not move back here. You really want to have that anchored pretty well, because if you're hitting it and it's going like this, you're just wasting a lot of energy and you're going to end up with unwanted deformation. And you see I already have half an inch. Well, almost.